welcome to the first episode of the series about career guidance by Foundation World Schools After School Academy. Today's program is about career counseling. So the topic is NEET. And for this topic, I have few experts in the studio today. Please let you introduce yourself to our viewers.
Assalamu alaikum everyone, this is Asrar Qadir, lecturer of physics, Crescent Group of Institutions.
Assalamu alaikum, my name is Atisham Kalandar and I'm founder of Exemplar Classes.
Hi, this is Junaid Yusuf and I'm the Center Director of Akash Institute, both Rajbagh and Nagin centers.
Okay, thank you and welcome to the show. So Mr. Junaid, I want to know from you, what are the things that our students need to know to prepare for the exam like NEET?
As you already know that over the last 2 years, what has happened is that most of the colleges in India have come under the ambit of NEET. So if you are an MBBS or a BDS aspirant, you have to write your NEET exam to go through into any college in India.
Okay.
Now if you categorize the colleges, let's say there are 3 types of colleges. One are centrally funded institutions like an AMU or a CMC Vellore or AFMC. These are top-notch centrally funded institutions. The second category of colleges are state government medical colleges. And the third category is the private medical colleges.
Okay.
Our students are eligible to go into centrally funded institutions. And unfortunately, because of whatever circumstances, our state government has not allocated a 15% All India quota. So in terms of aspiring for state government medical colleges, we are only left with our own medical seats, which are about 500. And private colleges, anyways, our students can go there. So effectively, if you look at it, for all the MBBS aspirants or BDS aspirants, we are vying for the 500 MBBS BDS seats in our state, as well as the seats in those centrally funded institutions like AMU and AFMC. Last year, if you look at the MBBS cutoff for male students in J&K, that was about 490, whether you wanted to go to a SKIMS or a GMC Srinagar. And for female students, because we have a 50% reservation for female candidates, the cutoff was slightly lower at about 460. Now, if you compare the cutoffs for colleges like AMU or an AFMC, the cutoffs for those colleges were around 580, which is almost 100 marks more than what is the cutoff in the state. So I guess most of the students here should be aware of these relative differences between the cutoffs.
Okay, so this is a very good point that our students should know about the relative cutoffs. So Mr. Atisham, you recently conducted a workshop and you informed students about all this. So what you will suggest these students, as Mr. Junaid said, that there is a lot of difference between the cutoff of our state and the cutoff of other states. So what do you suggest our students for that?
Before understanding the cutoff portion, right, it's what's more important is to understand the essence of a competitive exam in the first place. The issue with the Kashmiri students is that our approach has always been very theoretical in nature. We know the concepts, but when it comes to application of concepts, there's issues. We don't know how to apply these concepts, how much in depth we have to understand, how much of an insight you require in order to solve a certain question. And competition, that's where the weakness comes in, right? Because होता क्या है कि अब कोई बच्चा अगर आपका पढ़ रहा है इसके लिए और क्या नाम है आपको आइडिया नहीं है कि पढ़ना कैसे है और आपने अगर पढ़ लिया तो आपको ये नहीं पता कि एग्ज़ाम कैसे हैंडल करना है, बिकॉज एग्जामिनेशन एग्जाइटी इज़ आई बिलीव वन ऑफ द मेजर रीजंस जहाँ पे वी फॉल बैक, यू नो. अगर आप 3 घंटे के एग्ज़ाम दे रहे हैं, आपने उतना कभी दिया ही नहीं होता है, आप यू फोकस फॉर 1 आवर एंड फॉर द नेक्स्ट 2 आवर्स यू आर ब्लैंक. सेकेंडली, एक और मिस अंडरस्टूड कंसेप्ट ये है कि हार्ड वर्क लीड्स टू सक्सेस. आई बिलीव नो, दैट्स नॉट राइट. स्मार्ट वर्क लीड्स टू सक्सेस. इंसान को ये पता होना चाहिए कि उसे क्या पता है. जब आपको ये पता हो ना, तो ऑटोमेटिकली थिंग्स बिकम वेरी क्लियर फॉर यू. You know which questions I can solve and then you approach them, right? So that way your scoring automatically improves. लेकिन अब यहाँ पे वो मसला है कि you are very stuck behind when it comes to, you know, understanding these patterns and then preparing.
Since you talked about preparations, मैं आपसे जानना चाहूँगी Mr. Asrar, since you teach the students and you prepare them for the NEET, so what exactly a student must go through and prepare to qualify such exams?
Any competitive exams is related with 2 things. One is speed and another is accuracy. Now we got to find the things of just increasing your speed and increasing your accuracy. उसके लिए कुछ आपने पहले से वर्कआउट करना है. See, entrance class is not a class. It's actually the period of execution. What you have learned in the 11th class, what you have learned in the 12th class, you got to execute it properly in 4 months or 5 months time. For that, you got to have the proper study material in the 11th and 12th examination. You got to know what you want to just achieve in the national competitive examinations. You got to have a proper study material. You got to practice regular mock tests. I see a lot of students, they suffer in the, whenever they speak, they think of the mathematics. उनको लगता है कि कोई पता नहीं भूत जैसा आ गया, ठीक है. मैक्सिमम स्टूडेंट्स गो फॉर थ्योरेटिकल एनालिसिस. उनको पता है बायोलॉजी का थोड़ा सा यहाँ पैरामीशियम एम्यूबिया वो उनको पता है, बट व्हेनेवर दे रिगार्ड द न्यूमेरिकल एनालिसिस उनमें थोड़ा सा उनका दिमाग थोड़ा हिल जाता है. उसके लिए सिर्फ एक ही रेमेडी है. आई ऑलवेज से दैट द रेमेडी इज प्रैक्टिस अ लॉट. यू गॉट टू प्रैक्टिस अ लॉट फ्रॉम द 11th examinations. The results will come automatically.
जी, आपने एक बहुत अच्छी बात यहाँ कही सब एनालिसिस की, और इससे मैं जानना चाहूँगी सब्जेक्ट एनालिसिस. बट इससे पहले हम सब्जेक्ट एनालिसिस की बात करें, फ्रेंड्स, लेट्स टेक अ ब्रेक एंड आफ्टर दिस ब्रेक वी विल टॉक अबाउट द सब्जेक्ट एनालिसिस व्हिच इज अ क्रूशियल पार्ट फॉर प्रिपेयरिंग फॉर नीट एग्जामिनेशंस.
The basis of good education is a good school. But what is a good school? A school that enhances your social status, that has been there for decades. A school that chooses you instead of you choosing the school. No. A school is rated by the infrastructure, the curriculum, the faculty. At Foundation World School, we have the state-of-art infrastructure. The all-weather infrastructure ensures truly world-class education experience. We are the first international school in Kashmir with Cambridge International Examination Curriculum. In India, 8 of 10 best schools have Cambridge curriculum. Our faculty is regularly trained by CIE people. We are changing education. Be a part of this change. Come to Foundation World School.
So friends, we're back and thanks for staying with us. So we were talking about the subject analysis. So Mr. Ehtesham, could you throw some light how our students will prepare subject-wise for this examination?
एक कंसेप्ट है जो यहाँ पे बिजनेस में भी बहुत ज़्यादा लोग फॉलो करते हैं. इट्स रिटर्न ऑन इन्वेस्टमेंट. कि अगर मैं किसी सब्जेक्ट में 4 दिन दे रहा हूँ, उस 4 दिन के अगेंस्ट एग्जामिनेशन डे के दिन मुझे कितना फ़ायदा आएगा. हाउ मेनी क्वेश्चंस वुड कम फ्रॉम दैट टॉपिक एंड हाउ मेनी ऑफ देम विल आई सॉल्व, राइट. सो उसके लिए फर्स्टली यू हैव टू अंडरस्टैंड एंड एनालाइज लास्ट ईयर क्वेश्चन पेपर्स कि किस चैप्टर में से कितना आया है, आगे क्या एक्सपेक्ट किया जा सकता है. सो प्रेडिक्शन इज़ अ की. Secondly, what's even more important is to understand the difficulty level in each and every subject or topic for that matter. अब अगर मैं chemical bonding का example लूँ, chemical bonding में से 60% of the inorganic chemistry आपका आया हुआ है. So that means chemical bonding is the subject or is the chapter that you have to do, right? Because that's the maximum return on your investment, on your time. Similarly, कोई ऐसा chapter हो सकता है जिसमें शायद उतना ही time लगे लेकिन इसके 10% मार्क्स भी ना आए उसमें से. यू गेटिंग मी? सो automatically a certain degree of prioritization will come in your preparation and this smart approach will help accentuate your scoring. But there are other chapters जिसमें आपको in depth जाने की ज़रूरत है कोई भी question solve करने के लिए because there are linkages between topics. And once that comes in, there's a conceptual crisis. You cannot leave some chapters because at the end of the day everything is linked, right? So that's a problem.
Mr. Junaid, here I want you to add something since you train a lot of students per year in your institute and it's one of the best institutes here. So I want from you that how exactly the students should prepare, what should be the subject analysis like Mr. Ehtesham said already.
To achieve a score of 500, the ideal distribution would be, let's say, an 80 marks in physics, 120 in chemistry, which makes it 200, and 150, 115 in botany and zoology.
Right.
So that makes to a score of 500. So once you have decided that, now you know that your target in physics is 80. Now you can prioritize saying that, okay, I only want to get 80 out of 180. So I might consider concentrating on major topics. While as for a botany zoology, I'll have to study the whole syllabus. Similarly in chemistry. But what is more important, and I would like to emphasize on that, is that there is a concept of rank improvement. And how does that happen? A student has to develop over time a mechanism of screening questions while he's attempting them. So while I'm answering the question paper, I should be able to know beforehand whether it's an easy, medium or a difficult question.
One, right.
When my target is 80 out of 180 in physics, why would I waste my time on difficult questions? I might as well also attempt easy and medium questions and get to a target of 80.
Yeah.
So that is very important. I think most of the students lack is this screening mechanism of tagging the questions.
So that means till now what we got from the discussion is like students have to do the smart work, right? They have to have the passion, and there should be the right subject analysis. So friends, it's time for another break. Stay with us, because after this we are going to talk about how to score more.
Cambridge International Examinations prepares school students for life, helping them develop an informed curiosity and a lasting passion for learning. Our students have wider skills to discover fascinating things every day, not just throughout their education, but for the rest of their lives. The skills they get from their self-confidence to achieve in everything they do. Cambridge International Examinations. Learn, discover, achieve. Now in Kashmir at Foundation World School.
Welcome back to the show. As I said, we will talk about how to score more. I will start with Mr. Junaid. What is the sequence to attempt the papers in the examination?
See, after we have decided the different cutoffs and what should be the achievable targets in different subjects, the next important question is in which sequence should I attempt the different subjects? What I've seen over the last couple of years is that most of the students from the Kashmir Valley attempt botany, zoology first, and then chemistry, and then physics. They probably believe that whatever subjects they are more comfortable in, let's attempt that first and grab a few marks. But what I believe is the best strategy of attempting a question paper of NEET is that you should first attempt that particular part of the paper which is conceptual, which is numerical oriented, because your mind is fresh in the beginning of the exam.
Yeah, very true.
So what makes sense is to attempt physics in the beginning, then chemistry, and then botany, zoology. And one of the primary reasons to do that is, for example, you're left with half an hour and you're left with, let's say, 60 questions of botany, zoology.
Right.
Botany, zoology is a fact-based science. You are anyways in a state of fatigue by a couple of hours.
So you just have to think and take that.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't have to solve anything.
So
right?
compare that to a situation where you are left with 30 questions of physics and you have half an hour left.
Right.
You'll anyways panic and your score will actually go down in physics. So my point is that while you attempt different subjects in NEET, the ideal sequence is physics, chemistry, and botany and zoology. And this invariably will lead to a higher score in NEET.
Okay, thank you for such a valuable suggestion. So Mr. Ehtisham, I want to know from you, since NEET is a competitive examination, there is a time strain as well. So what are the tips and tricks you want to give to our students so that they can prepare in a best way for NEET?
I think it's better that I use a personal anecdote for this. Yeah. I remember in my class 11th when I first went for this preparation, right? So we had a test paper in our, it's a true story, it's not like, I'm not lying or something, I'm making up. So the thing is, there were like 20 questions, it was a chemistry paper, I remember. So the 20 questions, and at that point of time, I did not know about this fundamental rule of competitive exams. The rule is know what you do and do what you know. I believe every student should know about it. But I did not know right at that time. So I attempted all the 20 questions, and when the results came, my score was -7.
So negative marking.
Yeah, because if you're attempting too many questions and questions that you don't know, you will end up getting losing marks that were already sure, right? So that's a problem. So that is firstly important. And then comes the tricks and tips. I mean, I talked about it in my workshop as well. The tricks and tips are basically involved firstly in the numerical portion only. In the physics paper or in the chemistry paper, option elimination is the key, but the option elimination is done through various methods. There's value putting involved. I mean, although it's a very unethical way of saying, I mean, doing things, you know, you just have to put value, right. But at the end of the day, competitive exams is less about ethics and more about scoring. Another trick I believe involved is the probability of things, you know.
So that means if you have to give the guess, or you are doing the guesswork, you have to work for that as well. You have to think about that.
It has to be an intelligent guess. आँख बंद करके guess करने से आपका आंसर नहीं आएगा. कुछ तो सोच लगाओ.
Yeah, that's a very right word, intelligent guess.
Intelligent guess.
Okay, thank you for that. So, Mr. Asrar, I want to know from you, like Mr. Ehtisham said, intelligent guess. What our students do, they think more about the question. But there are some instances in which we can, think about the answers. and eliminate which are not so much related. So what do you want to talk about that?
See, कोई भी problem अगर हो, कोई भी question हो, it itself is a hint. जो वहाँ पे वेरिएबल्स या जो यहाँ पे क्वेश्चंस में जो भी चीज़ें उन्होंने यूज़ करी है, ठीक है, सो दे हैव टू बी यूज्ड इन द सॉल्यूशन बेसिकली. सो दिस इज द वन ऑफ द हिंट. So you don't know what is the numerical speaking about, how to approach the numerical, but you all know that the variables in the questions which are given, you have to use them. By this technique, you can improve your chance. Probability must be increased. 4 options, 5%. If there are 2 options, 50%. So there are more chance that you can go for those options and you can score marks, healthy marks.
Okay, that means besides smart work, time management is also important.
Just last word about this.
Please.
Is that NEET examination is something which basically encompasses 2 years of study, right? And it's a 3-hour examination. So if you look at it, it's gross injustice to actually judge a student on the basis of 3 hours, and it will decide his career and life. So this pressure of basically appearing in this examination and handling that pressure for 3 hours is killing. So what I would suggest to most of the students is that they should give a lot of mock tests before the main exams, so that they get a hang of that pressure that they will feel in the actual exam. All these techniques or tricks we talk about will fall flat when they go and write that examination, because you cannot quantify the pressure of the examination.
Right.
So the best thing to do is to actually write same difficulty level examinations, mock tests, a couple of them or 4 or 5 of them before the actual exam, so that you are prepared for it mentally as well.
Okay, thank you so much. It was great to have you people here, and you discussed very, very good points. So friends, that was all about today's episode. See you in the next one with a new topic. And if you have any suggestions, please comment below. You can also give your feedback on the website and the Facebook page. And if you have any questions, please do inbox us. We will try our best to answer your queries. Thank you so much. Take care of yourself. Khuda Hafiz.